Oh, yeah! How are we doing, soaks? Checking on the levels. Gotta make sure the levels are good for another episode. How you been? Brett DeMott, that's me. Episode 1248. We made it this far, folks. Ain't no signs of stopping. This train is headed out of the station into the countryside. Absolutely rocking and rolling, pumped full of coal, and fucking just grinding those rails. We are grinding the rails, folks. Oh, it's been a week, folks. I say that every time, but it ain't no different this week, huh? Been a lot going on in the world. You know, I try not to get political, so we'll stay away from that for now, but a lot going on in my life. You know? And I'm not usually one to complain. Everybody who watches the show knows that I'm not one to complain. So, we ain't gonna get into too much of that, but we will talk about the big news of the week, folks. And that is, BB and the kids are back in town. The boys and wife are in town. The boys and wife are in town. That's right, folks. BB's back from Pittsburgh. She ain't living here. She ain't living in the house. But that's okay. It's okay. One step at a time, folks. You can't just expect things to go from nothing to something overnight. It's gonna take a little bit of whiles. It's going to take a little bit, but we're going to get back. So, BB decided to come back to town under one condition, that I found her a good Airbnb or something to stay in. And I says to her, BB, don't you worry. I ain't just going to find you an Airbnb. I'm going to make you an Airbnb. And she said, Brett, that's a stupid joke. And I said, you know what? It is, but it's fine. And what's that mean? Folks are sitting out there, they're sitting there saying, what's it mean to have an Airbnb? And what it means, folks, is that I wanted to give my wife and the kids the most pleasurable living experience possible, so I built them a house from scratch, folks. And you're saying, Brett, how could you build a house in a week? And what I'll tell you is, I did not exactly build a house. What I did was, I was driving around. And look, this sounds crazy. It's going to sound crazy, but just let me get to the end of it. If you let me get to the end of it, you'll realize that it ain't crazy, okay? I was driving around, and I'm going by, you know those storage units that you drive by. They're like first 2 months free. And first 2 months free, and you get the key today. And I say to him, 2 months free? I mean, this sounds incredible. So I stop at this one, owned by this guy named Chip, and I go into the front office and I say, Chip, what's the deal with this? What's the deal with this deal? What's the deal with the deal? I say to him, and he says to me, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you got the 2 months free on the storage units. How big we talking? He says, well, we got lots of them. We got 5 foot by 10 foot. We got 10 foot by 10 foot. We got 20 by 10. We got 20 by 20. And I says to him, what's the biggest one you got? He says 20 by 20. I say, okay. Do you got 2 of them next to each other? And he's like, yeah, I think I got 2 of them next to each other. So I go and look at these things. These things are beautiful. Okay, yes, they're storage units, but they have power. They have climate control. They have easy access from a roll-up garage door in the front. You can lock them. So, I mean, a storage unit is just a house that ain't got no furniture or other rooms in it yet, is what I'm saying. So I go to Home Depot, and I buy some furniture. I buy some plastic chairs. I buy some tables, a little outdoor table. I get the old TV out of the kids' room here. And I'm telling you this, folks, you would not believe. If you walk into these storage units, these things look nicer than my house, okay? And a lot of people say, well, Brett, your house is falling to pieces because you ain't done any upkeep. And I say, I'm in the process of doing it. But I got these 2 storage units, one right next to the other. One for the kids, one for BB. I mean, there's 3 beds in the one, there's 1 bed in the other. Okay? And these things are free for 2 months, folks. And I'm not trying to have BB stay in this Airbnb for more than 2 months. It's incentive for me to get her out of there, folks. If it was too comfortable, what's she going to just stay there forever? No, thank you. But it's got all the amenities. I got him a little camping stove. They got to make sure that they leave the garage door open a little bit when they use the camping stove. Otherwise, the fumes from the butane will get a little bit deadly, I guess. And so I take him over there. I blindfold him. I take him over there. I got both the garage doors just open all the way up. I'm bringing them in there. They're in the back seat of the van. All of them. I put them in the back seat so that I can blind out the windows. So I black out the windows. I say, all right, everybody take your blindfolds off, but keep your eyes closed. Open up the garage, or the van door, to 2 beautiful open garage doors of 2 storage units at Chip Storage. And I'm telling you guys, the look on their faces, I can't even describe it. It was a range of emotions. I think they were overcome with, with this this feeling of a new place, a brand new situation. Yes, the kids weren't exactly excited because they have to share one room with all 3 of them for now. But I says to BB, BB, if you want to, you can come live at the house, or you can stay here. And she uttered some words that really stuck with me, that really hurt me, folks. They hurt me a little bit. She says to me, Brett, I would rather stay in solitary confinement than live with you. And I say, well, then why the hell did we come here? Why did you come back if the goal ain't for you to come and live in the house? Why'd you come back? And she says, well, we got to work on it. And I'm sitting here thinking, I've been working for a whole week to make this Airbnb situation work out. And that ain't enough for them. It's crazy. What's a guy got to do to get his wife to move back into his house with him? That's what I'm asking. I ask it every freaking day. And I ain't figured it out. But we've seen each other a little bit over the week. We did a little barbecue at, they came over here. Did a little barbecue. Made a little bit of ribs. Made a little bit of baked potato. The kids loved it. The neighbors were snooping, though. This is the thing that I don't like about living in a neighborhood, folks. I don't like that my neighbors can just look over the back fence and see what I'm doing. And because of that, I've tried to make the back fence higher. I've added on to the back fence. So my back fence is about 15 feet tall now. And it's 2 fences on top of one. It's not one piece. We already had the one fence that was like 7 feet tall. But their second floor could see it. So I took and I made another layer of fence. Couldn't get the same materials as I did before. So one has got a sort of dark stain to it, and the other one has a more natural stain to it. Doesn't exactly look good, but it's okay. It does the job. It keeps the neighbors from looking. And so we had the barbecue, and things felt normal, folks. Yeah, I mean, did me and the kids even say 2 words to each other? Not really. But we were all in the same room or the same, enclosed area for a decent amount of time. So we're taking baby steps. Back to normalcy, folks, and that's all we can do. Okay? That's all we can do. Baby steps. Oh. Got a great show today, though. Very excited for my guests. We're going to talk to my cousin Jeanie. I ain't talked to her in a while. She's in the hospital recently. And I don't know exactly why. I haven't gotten all the details of that. She was in the hospital for a little bit. But I guess she's out now. We're going to check in with her. See what's going on with her. But we'll see what's going on there. But we'll, real quick before we bring Jeanie on, we'll dip into the old mailbag again. See if we got any questions from the soaks out there. Let me see here. Where are we looking? Where are we looking here? There are we looking. Oh, here we go. This is a very relevant question here. Dear Mr. DeMott, how you been? Very well, all things considered. I'm writing to get another hardware head's opinion. My birthday is September 1st, and I'm hoping to treat myself to something from the hardware store. If you had $50 to spend on a new toy, what would you buy? Oh, yours truly, Ribson Vanderbilt. Ribson, this question, I'll tell you this. This might be the best question I've ever gotten on how you've been thus far. And listen, I'm not going to give you some flashy answer. Okay, a lot of people come in there here to say, "Oh, we need a skill saw, we need a power drill, we need we need a set of a table clamp. We need something crazy like that." But you don't need those tools, folks. I'm gonna tell you this: there ain't a single job that you can't get done with just a standard set of tools. Okay, is it gonna take more time? Yes. Are you going to feel more empowered, more excited for the job that you did if you do it with just regular tools? Absolutely. So here's the thing. Everybody out there, if it's your birthday, I don't care if it's your birthday or not. You're going to do this one thing for yourself in this coming week. Go out and you're going to buy yourself this. You're going to buy yourself this. You're going to buy yourself this. And you're going to buy yourself this. Folks, I'm telling you, there ain't a single job around the house that you can't get done with just a hammer, a tape measure, and a box cutter. Okay? The only tools you ever need. Okay? And don't flail around wildly with a box cutter, folks. These things are scary. You can cut your finger off. You can cut wood with these things. A lot of people say, Brett, you can't cut wood with a box cutter. I say, oh yeah? You really think that? Go look at my kitchen table. I made my kitchen table with this, and this, folks. And a couple nails and screws. Okay? That's another couple things. Okay. So, all right. So you need hammer, tape measure, box cutter, nails and screws. Okay? Nails and screws. And, maybe you need some wood glue. Okay? Just don't get tricked into spending so much money on tools that you stop using this. Okay? Woodworking is more about this than it is about anything else. If you could see it, you could build it, folks, and you don't need a bunch of crap. Okay? Lowe's, Home Depot, those stores, they're trying to hose you, folks. Don't let them hose you. Okay? Go to your local hardware store, get a small hammer, a tape measurer, a box cutter, a box of nails, and a box of screws, and you can make anything you want. You can make absolutely anything you want, and I'll stand by that till the day that I die. So I hope that answered your question, Ribson. And happy birthday, by the way. Appreciate it. So if you're watching, thanks so much for watching on your birthday. I hear that John, when he does, my producer, John, when he does streams on other days, he'll do a little thing where he sings happy birthday to people in the chat. So come back on Thursday or whatever, and maybe he'll sing happy birthday to you. But folks, like I said, really excited to talk to my cousin Jeanie. It's been a minute. I'm excited to see what's going on with her. Hopefully she's okay. But I'm just gonna take a quick break real quick here in a moment. And then we'll get Jeanie in here and we'll talk a little bit and see what's going on with her. So just hang tight for a few seconds, folks, and I'll be right back with my cousin Jeanie. BRB.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. 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 Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
All right, folks, back from a quick little break. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, because I had a blast. I had a blast on my little break, and I'm really excited, folks, because today I got my cousin Jeanie. She's here to talk to us, see how she's been. And as far as I know, yeah, she had something happen. She was in the hospital recently, but she's out now. So I'm really excited to catch up with her and see how's it going. So everybody say hello to my cousin Jeanie Buckalew. Jeanie, how you doing, Jeanie?
Hi, Brett. It's so good to see you and talk to you.
It's good to see you too, Jeanie. I'll start this the way that I start all of them. How you been, Jeanie?
You know, I'll be honest. It's been hard. I've had a hard summer.
Yeah.
And I've been better, but you know what? I'm on the mend.
Hey, and that's
100%.
That's a great perspective, Jeanie, because everything could always be better, but as long as it's a trajectory that's upwards, that's really all that matters, right?
Oh, I feel it. I feel that I personally am on the mend, but I also just feel like things are getting better and better.
That's a great perspective.
We're on the upswing.
That's true.
Yeah,
now, Jeanie, right? I noticed that you have is that a bandage on your head? Yes, that's a head wound.
Yes. I have a head wound. I had a lot happen this summer. And this is like one of the last things that I have to get through on my recovery from being gored by a bison in Custer State Park a few weeks ago.
Hold on. Jeanie, what do you mean? You got gored by a bison?
I did. I got, I've gotten a lot of crap from people all over the world for this. But you know that I love to take photos of baby animals.
I know you have been an animal head since we were both kids. I remember.
That's right.
You love animals. Right. You love, and I remember to this day, you weren't even scared of snakes. You would walk straight up to a snake and you'd try to pet it on its little head. Like this.
Right. And I never had a problem. Most of the time, the snakes were fine. And then there was that summer that I did it to a water moccasin. And
right.
that was a dangerous situation.
And now
but I'm okay.
You're okay now. That was a tough summer. I remember seeing your hand after you were bitten by this water moccasin.
I know.
And being terrified.
I just had to get a picture of that baby snake. That little water moccasin baby was just the cutest little snake I'd ever seen.
And Jeanie, I've told you this. I found this out. I told you when you were messing with these snakes, baby snakes are the most dangerous snakes because they don't have control of their venom glands yet. And so this snake bit your hand and dumped so much venom into your body that doctors said your body was more venom than it was blood.
Oh, 100. And I still have carpal tunnel on this hand. Like I've had to wear this carpal tunnel glove since I was 12.
Yeah. And that's tough too, because it's a target for bullies. And I know we both went through it in school. We went through it. And you, unfortunately, it seemed like every single week you had something new happen that just made it very easy for people to see exactly what they could latch onto. Whether it was a giant gaping snake bite in your hand that was pus everywhere and your hand was gangrenous, or for example, when you had that dog bite you on your butt and it didn't let go and you refused to have it removed and you walked around for 2 days with a little dog hanging off your butt.
Right, a little dachshund. I had a dachshund. His teeth were stuck in my butt because my butt skin is so thick. It's like a rhinoceros. And I will say that butt skin came in tremendous. It came handy when I was gored by a bison just a few weeks ago.
I was going to say, a lot of people say you got to have thick skin to make it through middle school. And in your case, they don't just mean it to protect you from bullies. They mean it to protect you from animal attacks. And Jeanie, I'll be honest, it's shocking to me just how consistently you have had issues with animals. I don't understand how one person could so consistently have these run-ins. And this is a huge. You were attacked by a bison?
Well, yes, I was gored by a bison. I will say before I was gored by the bison, because I did the whole Sturgis circle.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Me and Gary rode our motor trikes up to Sturgis. We first stopped at Mount Rushmore and did the rally, and then we drove around. In between the drive from Mount Rushmore to Sturgis, a murder hornet flew up the sleeve of my jacket and stung me in the armpit, and I had to ride my motor trike with one hand and one hand up in the air like I was in class and had a question. Talk about being bullied. In Sturgis, they would not leave me alone.
Because I also heard that there was many murder hornet attacks on the Sturgis Loop this year, and no one else had. It's the positioning issue. Had you been stung anywhere else, you wouldn't have had to ride around with your arm up like this. And people are sitting there calling you names, saying that you are soft or whatever. It's like, no, guys, try getting stung by a murder hornet in your armpit, and see if
your armpit.
It right in there.
Yep. It just went down.
Yeah.
Like when I was taking a picture of that bison calf, my arm was still up in the air. And so that's why I had to get close.
Yeah.
Is because I was only doing it one-handed. Gary was no help.
I'll tell you this. I've told you this from the day you met this guy. Gary's bad news, Jeanie. Gary is bad news. And, it ain't just me being a protective cousin. I think you didn't even like motor trikes until you started hanging out with Gary. Okay? And I'll tell you this, a man who wants to be in a relationship but won't get married to you after 27 years, Jeanie, there's something going on there. This guy's taking advantage of you is what I think.
Look, he has his problems, Brett, but you know what? He's a good caretaker. Given the fact that I don't have health insurance, Gary was a tremendous help. But he actually got a trailer to take me from the hospital in South Dakota back to Pennsylvania.
Okay, but did he take you to a doctor? There are plenty of doctors in South Dakota. I feel like this is what I'm saying. It feels like Gary's one of those guys who, like, he'll take you to McDonald's and be like, don't get the combo meal because if you buy the sandwich and the fries and the drink separate, it's 6 cents cheaper. And it's like, no, that's not how it works, Gary. It feels like he's always looking for deals. He doesn't care if somebody else gets hurt as long as he gets to eat his sandwiches. You know how he gets about his sandwiches.
He loves sandwiches. He does. He always has. He likes, he's always been a fan of barbecue sandwiches, of meatball sandwiches, pastrami sandwiches, turkey and Swiss sandwiches, chicken salad sandwiches.
When the range of your likes is this broad, Jeanie, I don't think you have to be specific anymore. This guy's just a sandwich head. He's a sandwich head, and he'll do anything for a sandwich. Because
I fell in love with a sandwich head, Brett. What can I say? I fell in love with a man who loves sandwiches. I could have fallen in love with a man who loves sushi. That wouldn't have been any fun for me.
No, it wouldn't. Because sushi will get you sick, folks. We all know that. Sushi, right? Sushi will get you sick. Absolutely.
You get, as the one time I ate sushi, I got worms. The one time I had,
I remember this.
I don't want to make this about my butt, but.
Well, I'll say this, Jeanie. I remember when you got worms, and you didn't even want to cure them. You were saying, no, these are living things. I want to take pictures of these worms.
there was some baby worms. I did a poo and saw those worms, and it was like a worm family. And Gary came in and flushed it. He came in and flushed the entire family away.
See, and that's what I'm saying, Jeanie. Gary doesn't care what you like. He only cares about what he likes. Motor trikes, sandwiches, and Sturgis. It's like, it just feels, and what positive has come from your relationship with Gary? Because it looks to me like you got a massive head wound. Don't tell me that this had something to do with him. He didn't like make a noise or like call the bison over to you or anything like that to cause him to gore you, did he?
Well, all I could hear when I was trying to position the camera to get the calf, the bison calf, I heard people saying, "Don't back up. Are you drunk?" And I just heard one voice say, "Get her." But I don't think it was Gary.
You don't think it was Gary?
I don't think it was Gary.
Okay.
I think it was somebody. You know, if it weren't for Gary, I wouldn't have learned that the cure-all to all my problems is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Because I have recovered from this injury and from all my, including the murder hornets, thanks to Bragg's apple cider vinegar. And I gotta say, Gary was right about that. Gary was right about that.
And what do you mean?
He was right about the power of turmeric.
Jeanie,
this is all I used. This is the only medicine I use is ACV and turmeric.
And turmeric. You think that these materials cure physical wounds? You think that the wound in your head is being cured? How do you even use turmeric on a head wound? Do you eat it? Do you spread it on it?
Oh, I take a tablespoon and I mix it with water and I hold my nose and I chug it. I do that 8 times a day.
Jesus Christ, so Jeanie.
8 tablespoons of turmeric a day. I have, like, that has helped with my inflammation. The apple cider vinegar, you can't tell, but this is soaking in apple cider vinegar right now.
So you're rubbing vinegar on the wound that's on your head?
Well, I have been. It hurts initially, but you know what? The pain, I'm numb to it now. I have a very high pain tolerance. I have to. I was stung in the armpit by a murder hornet.
I know, Jeanie. And look, I'll stop coming down on you for the Gary thing. It's a thing that I've worried about for a long time, So I'll let you, again, to each their own. Maybe Gary treats you different in private than he does when I'm around. So I'm not gonna keep harping on that. But I do. You said before, and I kind of glossed over it.
Hey, we both love Selling Sunset. We'll always have that.
The TV show?
And this new season on Netflix has just been a dream. We're going to watch it again.
You're going to watch this is a reality show, isn't it?
Yeah, about the selling very nice houses in Los Angeles.
I'll tell you, I don't know that I know anybody who is down for a rewatch of a reality show. A reality show feels like it's a one and done thing.
What?
Yeah,
you're kidding me. I've rewatched every season of Survivor.
Okay,
multiple times.
Okay, Survivor to me is a competitive reality show. It's not a traditional reality show. So I could see, it's like rewatching a sports game. It's like, oh, you want to see your favorite win again. So I get Survivor. It's the exception. It proves the rule to me. If you're talking,
I know that you love Housewives.
Oh, of course I do. Of course I do.
Go back and watch that very first season of Real Housewives of Orange County. Go back and watch that very first season. It's so innocent. Everybody is so nice, and everybody's like a little they're not so ostentatious and not so vulgar with their money. You really love Jeanie.
I mean, and you think, hey, of course we do. We all love Jeanie. I think the thing is, as time goes on, with any show, especially reality shows, they start at like a 3, and then season 2 is a 4, And then season 3 is a 6. And then season 4 is an 8. And then season 5 is a 10. And once you hit 10, you can't really go nowhere without breaking the fabric of reality. So they freak out and they go nuts. So that's the problem, I think, with reality shows in general, is they're constantly trying to top themselves. And in order to top themselves, they detach from reality.
Brett, that was the best breakdown of reality TV that I have ever heard. And I am a regular on reality T. And I've not heard anybody describe reality shows in such a clear, succinct manner. Very good.
Thank you so much, Jeanie.
Very good observational.
That's why people watch this show, Jeanie, for little nuggets like that. And yeah, people are like, it's usually like one nugget per episode, but I do get that one nugget in there every time of really good advice or a really good sort of take on something. So that's why we keep doing it. But I want to get back to something you said before that I didn't dig into when you said it. I wish I had dug in. You said you've gotten some notoriety around the world for what happened to you with the bison?
Some lady, well, apparently a lot of people, but one lady recorded the entire incident.
Jeanie.
So it's on video. Like, you can see me on YouTube.
Jeanie, I've seen this video. That's you? It's so far. It's so far in the distance. You lost your pants. You didn't even tell us that you got gored by the bison and you lost your pants. I saw this video. I didn't realize it was you. Oh my God, Jeanie, you are a viral sensation.
That bison was running around with my pants on its antler for hours.
I know.
While I was in a ditch because Gary didn't know what to do because we don't have health insurance.
And also, what are you going to do? There's a crowd of bisons around you. What, I'm going to run in there and just grab you out of there while there's bisons looking around thinking maybe that I'm food? That's a tough decision.
Well, Gary had a handgun. Multiple people had handguns. So, like, I felt protected, at least in that regard. But the Rangers were not happy. I got a $4,000 fine.
$4,000.
So I have to pay that on top of my hospital stay. But I gave them a fake name, and so I hopefully I've outrun that since I don't live in state.
Jeanie, this feels like such a scheme. I feel like you could have handled this much better, and I'm gonna choose to blame Gary. But
isn't life a scheme? Isn't that what we're all doing? Aren't we all just running schemes?
I mean, I guess I can't. No, it's okay.
Turmeric.
That's what's happening. That's what happens when you just down gallons of turmeric. It gets stuck in your throat.
Well,
You are right. You are right, Jeanie. Life is a big scheme. It just feels like, I feel like it's maybe time for you to start thinking more critically about the choices that you have made and continue to make in your life. And a lot of people who watch the show will say, Brett, you ain't the person to give somebody that advice because you're the king of ignoring reality or recontextualizing facts in order to make them make sense in your brain in a way that doesn't hurt your feelings. But I just got to say, from the outside looking in, it feels like it might be time for you to sort of think more critically about what's going on. Like, have you given any thought to what life for you is going to be like 10 years from now with all these compounding injuries and now potentially a fugitive situation from a bill or a ticket in South Dakota? Like, it feels like you're sort of creating a future for yourself that's unsustainable, Jeanie, and I'm scared for you.
Well, one, you sound like my kids. Two, you gotta live in the moment. You know what? I can't be living towards the future, a future that who the hell knows what's gonna happen to any of us, especially right now. Like, you can't plan for the future in the middle of a pandemic. You have to just live for the right now. That's all I'm doing. It's a miracle that I didn't get COVID, but I don't think that COVID affects animals. Well, it affects some dogs,
right? Dogs,
but it doesn't affect bison or murder hornets. So it's at least I didn't get COVID in this whole situation.
I suppose if we got to find a silver lining in all of this, I think that maybe you are correct that at least you didn't get COVID. Because I'll tell you this, I know that you've had allergic reactions to animal stings in the past. Your lungs have some pretty serious damage due to, I believe there was a time where you ingested an anthill, a fire anthill.
Oh yeah, yes, that was a terrible accident. I had fallen off of my motor trike and was sliding on manure on my stomach through a meadow with my mouth open,
right.
And I ate like 2 cupfuls of fire ant nest, and that still hurt. Well, that still gives me problems. You're right.
So
that does still give me problems.
I think staying away from COVID is a very good thing, because I think the fire ant damage is probably causing some trouble in the lungs there. But Jeanie, like, let's not talk about accidents anymore. Okay? There's gotta be other stuff that's going on in your life these days. I know you started doing cross stitch. You started doing pottery. Like, you've become a little bit of an artist as well in the quarantine times, correct?
Oh yeah. My daughter had like a huge basket full of Sculpey. You know, the sculpting clay.
Yeah.
And she brought that over here, and then I just started knocking out animals. I just started like one after another, knocking out, baking my little Sculpey animals, and pardon me, turmeric. Excuse me. And I'm ready now to open my own Etsy store.
This is what I've been talking about all along, Jeanie. This is a choice that you can make for yourself that is completely separate from Gary. It's completely separate from the accidents that you've had. This is where you should be focusing, I think. You should be taking these kind of steps every day to sort of create a better future for you, where you're not just relying on Gary or on notoriety from a viral video of you having an accident.
Airy gay is yea, in yea, e they, itchin' K. So I have to be careful. But given that I work for Gary's motor trike saddlebag business, I don't know that I'd find another job at this point.
Yeah. That's tough.
It's kind of in a way the best job I ever had.
Yeah.
And I got to work stitching saddlebags while I was still in the hospital.
And now, is the motor trike saddlebag business booming these days?
For people who have motor trikes, yeah.
I guess that's true.
Like motor trike, like if you have a motor trike, you can't go any sort of distance without a saddlebag full of your picnic goodies.
Right. Because
that's very important.
Yeah, your picnic goodies are the most important thing to put in the saddlebags. And if we're being honest, motor trikes aren't the most ubiquitous vehicle. So it probably is tough to find a decent saddlebag at a motorcycle shop just down the street. You got to get something special made.
If I lived in a big city or if I lived in California, maybe it would be unusual. But right here in this corner of Pennsylvania, you either have an Amish buggy or you have a goddamn motor trike. Because it's a sensible way of getting around. They don't tip over easy. Any idiot can drive one.
They do tip over, though, but just not easy.
Yeah, it's not as easy as a two-wheeler.
That's true. That is true. But we have seen, like Gary, of course, has had multiple instances of tipping his motor trike.
Yes, Gary lost both feet to a motor trike accident. So now he doesn't drive as good as he used to because he has no feeling in his feet. So it's just it can be a little dangerous.
You don't have the delicate sort of finesse that you need for a motor trike.
Right.
You can't feel your feet.
You don't realize how dependent we are on our feet in feeling the road and in feeling the motor of the motor trike.
It's true. Honestly, if there's one thing that people take advantage of, it's that they can feel their feet. It's like you don't realize how much would be different if you lost feeling in both of your feet, folks.
Can you imagine?
No, you can't. You couldn't take your socks off with your feet. You know how sometimes you're in bed, you got your socks on, and and your feet get a little too hot, and you want to just take them off, but you don't want to lean down there with your hands. So you stick your big toe into the top of the sock, and you slide it off your foot on one side, then you do it on the other. If you can't feel your feet, there is absolutely no chance you could do that, folks.
I love taking off my socks with my feet, with my toes. I love that. I've never been so infirmed from an injury that I couldn't take my socks off with my toes. And I thank God for that. So if anything, Gary needs me because I can take his socks off with my toes. Although he doesn't really wear socks anymore since he has like wooden feet now. Sometimes he wears a sock liner just so that you don't see the mahogany.
Right. Mahogany. He's got mahogany feet.
Well, yeah, he carved him.
Wow.
He got a piece of mahogany. He carved his own feet.
And now these anatomical, or are they like more mannequin feet? What do they look like?
Gary, you want to come show your feet? He doesn't want to show them. They're kind of in between. They're kind of like Flintstone feet. I can't say he carved himself flat feet. I thought it was weird, but he did it. He carved flat feet.
And the toes aren't like separate. There's just sort of the impression of toes.
Yes, they are just the impression.
Yeah, I get it. I understand exactly what you mean. When you said Flintstones feet, I saw them in my head, and I think I got the exact right picture.
Right, he wears a size 18 in Timberlands.
Oh my goodness. This man's feet are giant.
Double E.
Double E wide. So that's double E is probably about 6 inches wide.
What we like to do sometimes is go to the beach. We like to go to the beach and walk around and then hide and then let people see the footprints and lose their minds. It is the funniest thing in the world, seeing people lose their minds over Gary's huge Flintstone footprints.
And it's both of you next to each other, because you, of course, we all know you have very nice small feet.
I have very delicate, tiny, size 5 feet. Very small. The two of your footprints sitting next to each other is quite a sight to behold, I'm sure, on the beach. Right, just from our feet alone, it is like Beauty and the Beast. It's a tale as old as time. I talk a lot of crap about Gary, but he's kept you employed. He's you guys are having adventures together. You're surviving, which is really honestly like in this day and age is a plus. If you're surviving, I think you're winning in a certain sense. So I feel like maybe I gave Gary a hard time because it is just, I'm a protective cousin. We were close when we were kids. We played all the time. So for me, if I don't exactly get along with somebody, I think they're a jerk, But sometimes people just butt heads, And we're both very smart. We're both very charismatic, funny, kind guys. So I think we Brett, you're smart. Thank you. Gary's not very smart. You're a smart guy. Gary is not that smart. No, I get it. Like Gary, we all have our good side. We all have our bad side. Gary's not going anywhere. It's his house. I'm living in his house. It's if I didn't live here, I don't think my son would let me live with him, and I know my daughter wouldn't let me live with her. So I've kind of got to suck it up. How are they doing, by the way? I know I haven't seen them since Thanksgiving a few years ago. Are they both doing okay? I know your son was starting to work at some
some at
the airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had just got a job at the airport. I remember.
Yeah.
He was gonna be not TSA. He was like working sort of like
he just got into the baggage handlers
union. Union. It's a union gig.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's fantastic.
It's been very slow during the pandemic, but it's picking up now. And he's okay.
That's good. And your daughter, is she? It sounds to me like you guys aren't on too good of terms right now.
No, her cobbler business is booming. Like she's, Carrie's Cobblers. She makes delicious cobbler.
And somehow she's figured out a way to ship these because she advertises them online. And a cobbler, I guess a cobbler isn't really a dessert that's looking pretty when you eat it. So
a cobbler usually looks like shit. So it's the perfect disease. It's the perfect dessert to mail. I didn't mean that, Carrie. I'm not saying that you make diseases.
Yeah.
That was just a slip of the tongue.
Because
I've got a lot of medical problems. Carrie's Cobblers is doing great. She's apparently doing well. I learned anything about her from her kids.
Oh, that's good that you still got a relationship with the kids, though. That's good because the kids are the next generation. They're the generation that's going to fix the world's problems, is what I always say. Let us fuck it up, and these kids are going to come around and clean it up. So don't hold us accountable, folks. The kids will take care of business. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's very optimistic.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, Jeanie, I'll tell you this. It was so good talking to you. It's been such a long time. It's honestly, we can't let this much time go by without us talking to each other again, because I'll tell you, it's just so nice to remember that you got family that still cares about you around here.
I can't believe how long your hair's gotten.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's it was longer and I cut it. So if you'd have seen me a bit ago, it'd have been longer, but I had to cut it because it was getting a little out of hand. But I'm feeling good about it. It's the thing that people notice first, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it.
After the pandemic, if it keeps on growing, you can donate your hair to Locks of Love.
That's true. And then they turned it into wigs, right?
Wigs for cancer
That's
babies.
fantastic. Folks, I'm saying it right now. You got my word. After the pandemic, when it's okay to go get your hair cut off, I am going to go get a haircut, and I'm going to donate my hair, my real hair, to make a wig. That is going to happen. That's going to be a thing that happens. I'm going to cut this hair, and somebody's going to turn it into a wig, and I'm going to take all the credit for it. I'm going to be I'm going to be such a good guy.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful, Brett.
Well, Jeanie, I think it's about time for me to wrap this up, so I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
But, Jeanie, I'll tell you what. It's truly always such a pleasure talking to you. I really hope that you go a few months at least without another major catastrophic accident. Because it's people who are as good as you don't deserve as much bad as you've gotten, is what I say.
Well, unless I get kicked in the head by a horse or get stung by a mosquito that's got Zika, I think I'm going to be fine because I'm not going to be leaving Gary's house.
That's fantastic, Jeanie. Well, Jeanie, it was so good to talk to you, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll have you back again sometime soon, and make sure that you're still doing all right. All right.
I'd love that. Bye, Brett.
Bye, Jeanie. Good to see you. Okay. Folks, that was Jeanie Buckalew, my cousin. A little update on her. Obviously, she's doing all right after getting gored by a bison in a park. Had I known that was what had happened to her, I'd have checked in sooner. I saw this video. Folks, you can find the video. I'll have John post it in the Discord. I'll show you the video of her getting gored by a bison. It's the most psychotic thing I've ever seen in my whole life. It's beautiful. But yeah, folks, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Jeanie, obviously, work has slowed for her. So if anybody could, there's a little donation link down below in the info section. If you could throw a couple bucks in the pot, I want to send Jeanie a little thank you for being on the episode. Any money that you guys donate down there will go to paying off Jeanie's medical bills that she accrued after the bison accident. And it will also go to, I guess, stockpiles of turmeric and apple cider vinegar for her. So yeah, if you could click the link below, you can also just hit !donate, which I believe is already in the chat there. You could throw, even if everybody just throws $1 in there, that would be incredibly helpful for Jeanie and making sure that she's okay going into the future, folks, because it's a little bit scary knowing how often she gets hurt. But yeah, uh-oh, that's not turmeric for me, folks. It's just talking a lot. Might need to go ahead and take a quick sip of this liquid death water. Ooh, baby. Liquid death is some water. They sent me a bunch of free water. It's delicious. You could say they're a sponsor. They didn't give me no money. They just gave me some free water. So I hesitate to call them a sponsor, but they are a friend of the show. If you want liquid water, get liquid death. That's their slogan that I just made up for them. Oh, yeah. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you could throw $1 or $2 into the pot down below in the donation link, that'd be very much appreciated. All that money will go straight to Jeanie as a thank you for being on the show and to cover her bills. But yeah, next week, now that BB's back in town, who even knows what's going to happen, folks? It's like the Wild Wild West out there. Or you could call it the Wild Wild East. Yeah, that's what it is, because we're on the East Coast. That's what I was saying. It's not the Wild Wild West. It's the Wild Wild East Coast. But thank you all so much for watching. Again, it's always such a pleasure to do the show. I appreciate people showing up, as they always do. You can find out who's going to be our guest next week by watching John's stream on Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So he'll announce who's going to be on the show next week on that stream. He'll also be on Thursday night, and then back again on Sunday. What time? And then we'll be back here same time, same place next week for another episode of How You Been. And I guess all I can say is until next time, Brett out.